and welcome to episode 91 of Explode Your Coaching Biz Show, brought to you by gtex.org.uk. I'm your host Simone Vincenzi, and this is the podcast for coaches, speakers and trainers who want to grow their businesses by making an impact in the world. Now this week I have the pleasure to interview Tim Han on how to crush it on YouTube. Now Tim is a world-renowned high-performance coach, online marketing expert, entrepreneur and international speaker. He is the founder of Success Insider, the fastest growing personal development YouTube channel across the globe in 2016. More than 11 million people, 11 million people have watched his videos in the last 18 months, and now over 2 million people watch his video online every month due to his viral growth. In addition, thousands of his students have gone through his flagship training and courses on how to grow successful YouTube channel and smash it with online marketing. In this episode, we talk about how to set up a YouTube channel that will make money, how to create viral videos on YouTube that will boost your subscribers, and also the number one way to monetize your YouTube videos and the best way. Now, to read the interview transcript and get the bonuses, make sure that you visit www.gtex.org.uk/episode iPhone 91, and also you will find all the links that you need to connect with the one and only Tim. Also, if you haven't downloaded yet our Selling from the Stage Ultimate Checklist, where we will teach you how to create a six-figure presentation but without using all these lazy and manipulative techniques, make sure that you download it here in the show notes or on the website. And as well, if you feel that this whole coaching journey is quite lonely, or simply you want to ask questions to our guest that comes on our show before the show is recorded, and you want to touch base with them and get featured on the show as well, make sure that you join the group Explode Your Coaching Biz. So it's Explode Your Coaching Biz, and you'll find it on Facebook, and the link is in the show notes as well. Now, without further ado, it's time to get started. Let's hear it from Tim Han. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Explode Your Coaching Biz Show. And today we are here with the one and the only Tim Han. How you doing, Tim?
Yeah, doing good, thank you.
Perfect. So today is all going to be about YouTube and taking action. But before we go into the strategy that made you viral on YouTube, because every time I check your YouTube channel, you have thousands more subscribers every time. Every now and then I stalk you on YouTube, and then you have more than thousand more subscribers.
Okay.
And I'm like, how the heck do you freaking do this? But before we go into that, why did you get into YouTube and instead of choosing another platform?
I suppose I saw a study from Cisco that was predicting by 2019, 80% of online media consumption will be video. And one of the things I suppose I always taught my students when it came to online marketing was, if you look at the biggest brands today, they're the brands that are really real. And I call this H2H, human to human marketing. And videos is the realest we can get, opposed to, reading somebody's text, let's say. I can see you, I can see how your body language is, I can hear your tonality. And so that's why I thought, video is the way to go.
Absolutely. And then why YouTube? Because you could have chosen, Facebook at the time, or you could have chosen Periscope. They are doing video, but why did you choose YouTube? Anything in particular?
I suppose it's probably, I knew a lot about it because I began posting videos when I was 17. I was starting a music channel at the time when I was a DJ. Right. And I really loved the platform and I loved the community element. And I know somebody right now, his name is Julius Dean, with over like 12 million likes on Facebook. And even he told me, he said, Tim, one of the hardest things to master is YouTube. But he was saying, even though he's got loads of likes on Facebook, he wants to go on YouTube because YouTube is about community. And you see YouTubers with 1 million likes getting more engagement than people with 12 million likes on Facebook, for example. So I think YouTube is so powerful for creating raving fans.
And how did the YouTube help you and your business? Because I think is that your YouTube channel Success Insider, right? If I remember well.
Yeah, so the one I'm involved heavily with now is Success Insider. It's helped it tremendously. In fact, only last month, let's say, I started to utilize paid traffic. Until then, I've been totally fine with the amount of traffic I'm getting for free from YouTube.
Wow.
Because every single month we're getting around 1 million to 2 million hits, meaning we just leverage that.
Slow down a minute. 1 million to 2 million hits a month.
Yeah, for free. Yeah.
Insane, man.
So it's really powerful for me, and at the end of the day, this is a community as well, so it's really tight knit. So it's really good.
Yeah, I remember when I met you. I think it was a mastermind that we did in London. That's how we met for the first time. And you mentioned, "Oh, I help people to smash it on YouTube." And I'm like, "Okay, that's good." So I started looking at your YouTube channel, and I'm like, "Okay, these guys know what he's talking about." So now, what did you find that was it easy for you? So was that the first video that you put on YouTube? Was that immediately success, or did it take some time to figure that out?
Yeah, it's definitely taken me time, but I did have a viral hit when I was 17 in the music industry. So basically what I created was a series. At the time, dubstep was a very big trend in the UK.
Yeah.
And I created a series that was called UK Filthy Dubstep Series. And the SEO ranking for that was perfect. So I created a weekly series, and it was getting hundreds of thousands of views. So from there, I just realized the power of this platform. But then in between then and then now, I was going through a lot of different niches, testing out different strategies. And so it's taken me time. It really has. And I've also had to go through other courses and stuff. But now I'm starting to do, you can never 100% understand something, right? Because the reality is, no matter what people say about they understand the algorithm, YouTube will never reveal exactly what the algorithm is, right? So still to this day, I'm still testing different strategies, but I think I've kind of getting the hang of it.
Well,
I'll
if
never
you get
say
1 million to 2 million views a month, then you're definitely doing something right.
Something must be working, yeah.
Something must be working. Now, you started YouTube how many years ago? So you said that you were 19. How many years ago was that?
So it's like 9 years.
9 years ago. How did you see the platform changing in these 9 years?
We've seen, I suppose, a rise of different industries just killing it. In fact, only a couple months ago, I saw a Korean girl, eating food on webcam, and she's making 10K a month. I think YouTube has gone from, YouTube has gone. Exactly. It's like kind of like I've seen a lot of different influencers just really just making it into their living, because back when I started, it was more like it wasn't a serious platform, but today people are YouTubers and they're making, millions, right? They're buying out $1 million houses everywhere, right? And so I've seen it turn into more of a serious platform where people think, I can actually create a living on this.
Okay, so let's look at your strategy. What do you find that doesn't work, and what will find that works? So let's see what are the three big don'ts. Like, these are the three things that you don't have to do on YouTube if you want to be successful on this platform.
Okay, so I think the first don't that a lot of people tend to make, the mistake, is the title. You see, one of the things I suppose I was guilty of when I was creating videos is I would record the video first and then come up with the title. But that's like kind of like me saying, I'm going to wait for my muscles to grow and then hit the gym. That's the wrong way around. You got to discover the title. So you got to find the title first from research, and then you create your video around that title. Title is very important. So you got to make sure it's SEO optimized. So I suppose I'll just mention the don'ts first, and I'll come up with the do's.
Exactly.
So don't do that. Don't come up with the title after you've created the video. The second don't, I would say, when you start out, don't pursue perfection, because if you aren't embarrassed of your clips when you began, you've obviously tried to perfect too much of it. I think, pursuit of perfection is a trap in itself, and it's prevented me from really scaling fast. Mm-hmm. So don't pursue perfection. And number three, I would say you gotta basically, when coming out with thumbnails, never just use like a thumbnail that you just think looks nice. Thumbnails is an art, and I've studied like a lot of people who are getting views, and I think there's a lot of art to thumbnails. Don't try to think of a great thumbnail yourself. It has to come from research. So that's the 3 don'ts.
Okay, so now let's switch it to the 3 do's. So what are the 3 things that you must do to be successful on YouTube?
Okay, so the 3 things. The first thing, let's go on to the title.
Right.
So when it comes to the title, you have to make sure that you're doing great research. Never try to think of a title that you think sounds good on paper, right? One of the things I always like to say is nobody cares what you think. The reality is marketplace just wants, and they know what they want. Like, so give them exactly what they want to hear. And so you can use platforms such as buzzsumo.com to look for viral blog titles that's gone viral in the past, and then you can literally model those titles and turn it into video, for example. Or you can go onto Google, you can use their own algorithm that shows you what people are typing in. For example, when you type in how to lose weight, you will see how Google fill in the blank. Yes. And that fill in the blank is what people have been typing. So you're far better trying to rank for that. And by the way, it is always better to go for long tail keywords when you're new to YouTube, because YouTube doesn't view you as an authoritative account. So how to lose weight versus how to lose weight if you are a mum.
Right, so can you just explain what are, for people that don't know, what are long tail keywords? What's the difference between keywords and long tail keywords?
Okay, sure. So basically short tail keywords, let's say, it's like how to lose weight. Right. Long tail keyword would be like how to lose weight if you're a mum at the age of 35. So it's very specific, okay? Right. And that's what they're typing in. And because there's less competition, even though the search volume may be high, just people are generally lazy. Since there's less competition, you're more likely to rank for those keywords. And so that's what I recommend. Do your research in regards to titles. It is vital. Even consider using YouTube as a research source. But bear in mind, I've seen some people doing this. People, for example, they say to me, hey, Tim, you told me to research, but then I found a YouTube channel. They just wrote, I am happy, and they got 1 million views. How is that? Well, again, YouTube gives unfair algorithm advantage to people who've got authority. So that's why I say sometimes modeling from YouTube videos isn't the best unless you understand exactly why they're ranking.
Yeah, because they might already had 5 million subscribers in their account. So they put every video they put out, they're going to have 1 million views anyway. Because they already have their followers, their subscribers, and YouTube already sees that they have a track record and says, yeah, this is relevant, even if it's crap.
Yeah. Totally, exactly that. So that's the first point, the title. Okay, make sure you get it from the right sources. Now, the second point is to do with let's go to the thumbnail. So with the thumbnail, that's where a lot of people make the mistake. Okay, now I see bad thumbnails from people who are new to the game, and I suppose you are trying to learn as you go, which is totally fine. But one of the things I always believe in is you got to model success. So this is when looking at other YouTube accounts within your industry really helps. And one of the things I've come across is a concept of a pattern interrupt that's helped me a lot, I believe, with getting a lot of clicks, is to realize that our brain is always looking for irregular patterns. Okay, so realize when you go on YouTube, there's so many thumbnails, so many videos in your eyes, right? So you got to make sure there's something in your thumbnail that's kind of like out of the ordinary. Or you can use, for example, my thumbnails tend to have like a horizontal line going across, because there's a primal programming that we're always looking for in our reticular activating system. We're looking for things that's out of the ordinary, because that could have been the thing that kills us. So that's why I use diagonal, and then it's like a big black diagonal box, and then it just stands out, and people click on it. So you can consider something like that, but that comes from my research and modeling in my industry. So you got to find out what works for you.
So for example, every industry has different thumbnail style that work for different industry, basically.
Yeah, so you got to really model their processes and really just see also how they do their videos, because that way you don't have to make the same mistakes they made. When they began, you get the one up straight away.
Absolutely.
Okay, so going on to the final point. The final point is in regards to not pursuing perfection. And I think that's important because there are so many people who start the YouTube game wanting to get million views overnight, but they don't realize, it doesn't happen overnight. There is no lottery secret to YouTube. And if anyone does promise you that, turn the other way and run, right? YouTube is a long-term game, because YouTube, if you look at it as a platform, it's about building a community. That's what it's all about. And so are you really in it for the long run? Because if so, your community will be able to really tell the difference between somebody who's just trying to get a million views versus somebody who's just delivering consistent content. So you got to make sure you just get in the game. Now, one of the things I would say would make a big difference, even if you are filming on the iPhone, is just having a good audio quality. Right. Audio makes a huge difference. Even if you've got the best video quality in the world, I think audio is important, especially since YouTube, they're listening to what you're saying. Depending on your industry, I think it's really important for the audio.
Why do you think the audio is so important? Because I've read, this is not the first time I come across this advice. Because it said you can have a video which the quality is not that super polished, but the audio must be right. Why do you think in this case audio is more important than video? I never understood that.
I suppose I to be honest, from my test, I've noticed a big difference. I haven't really got a solid data that proves that, but just from my personal experience of just listening to, for example, from videos that just uses iPhone mic versus somebody who's plugged in a mic and they're using a USB mic, even if it's $50, I personally prefer watching that video. It just ramps up the quality even more, and you're really making the best of what you can. Because, for example, if you can't afford $1,000 camera, but you can afford the $50 mic, by all means, just get the mic to start off with. I think it makes a huge difference from my test anyway. I've noticed a big difference.
And in terms of, let's talk about video now, in terms of video style, because now all our listeners are coaches, speakers, trainers. So what do you find is working best for this kind of industry? Because personal development is a niche that you're in with Success Insider. And what do you find that works really well for this niche?
Okay, this is when it all comes down to your core market as well as your branding, which I'm sure you probably teach your students about. But if you, for example, look at some people in our industry, there are ones which use flashy cars and the girls, and they do get a lot of views, don't get me wrong. But again, is it part of your branding strategy? I think a best place to start for me personally was just basically neutral, where people can't judge whatever the background, because the reality is people will judge no matter what. And so if you're just, I don't know, sat in your toilet doing a vlog, people will judge, and they would basically price you accordingly in their head in regards to how much they believe your services are worth. So just white or black background. In fact, black background tends to work really good on YouTube, even in the thumbnails, because it just stands out, because many people are using white. And so what you can buy is, for example, this backdrop is you can flip it to black. And in fact, when I was helping out a coach within this industry, I just literally had black backgrounds, and they're getting a lot of views versus white. So that's what I recommend. Do a backdrop, unless you are going for really high net worth people. It should convey luxury in the background. So I don't know, go on holiday, do a load of videos or something.
Yes, I'm here in my garage and
Exactly, yeah.
Well, that video definitely got a lot of views.
Definitely did.
And now you were talking about camera. We're talking about video as well. In terms of cameras, what do you recommend? Is an iPhone someone that can start enough, or do you need to have a good DSLR camera and all the fancy stuff? What's your advice on that?
I think depending on what the agenda is. So I found personally viral videos, high quality is the way to go. But with viral videos, I'm actually aiming for that just once a week, based upon, now I'm moving on to a free videos upload schedule. It's only one of the videos, not all free. The reason being is viral videos tends to be more for the cold audience, people who don't know you.
Yes.
And so, for example, I would say stuff in that video that my core audience may have heard of before. So that's why you can't constantly overwhelm your warm audience with this content, because they'll just think, why are you just repeating yourself? Right? So basically, one of the free videos I'm planning to do is more like an iPhone or vlog camera. Like I use the Canon G7X Mark II because that has got the cognitive bias, which the Lamborghini guy, which I'm not going to drop the name of, is which you probably have heard of. Basically, he mentions is a cognitive bias. The reason why he filmed that on an iPhone is because when we see a bad quality video, it just feels like it's raw. It feels like it's real.
It's
right?
natural. It's not. It's not scripted. It feels less production around it.
Exactly. And so that's why I do that, because I want my community to feel like they know me, and so I will do a vlog behind the scenes, a Q&A that's got slightly different variations in quality. And so when I do go on holiday or when I'm speaking, I tend to do a vlog really behind the scenes on a flip camera.
Okay, that's really interesting, because then what you're using is a bit of variety. So then you're building the relationship with the people that you're keeping, building a relationship with new people with quality. Mm-hmm. So they immediately say, okay, this guy is a person that takes care of their content. And then with the people that are already following you, then you're saying, hey guys, that's me. I'm real. That's Tim. And that's how you see me. That's my life. Which creates even a deeper level of connection. And now I want to tap into other two parts, because this is about the production and the creation of the video. Now the next step, I think, is the marketing. Now, how do you make sure that then this video actually goes out? Do you market the YouTube video to other platforms like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or do you embed it somewhere? Because I've heard that and I've seen that other platform, in particular Facebook hates YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Facebook hates YouTube like hell. So every time you put a YouTube link on Facebook, your post gets lost in that's just very low down the newsfeed. So what's your strategy then once you post the video to then market it to other audiences?
So I don't really tend to do it nowadays in regards to marketing YouTube videos. I suppose I do drop it in my email newsletter every single week. But I suppose back in the days, I would have posted it onto Facebook. But like you say, it doesn't get a lot of engagement. But if YouTube does see that it's being shared on different platforms, it does like that in their algorithm. And so I would have done that. But nowadays, I'm getting so much better results because we've been getting a lot of viral videos using animations recently. Even though I thought animations are dead, it seems like it's still alive in this industry.
What do you mean about animations?
So we use, so I've got a freelancer working on Powtoons right now. It's a cheap software you can get online. It's drag and drop. You can even do it yourself, where it seems like people are drawing basically explaining what's going on. There's a whiteboard animation, and people actually think it's real. Like one of the comments that I saw last night, somebody said, I wish I could draw like this guy. And I was just like, wow. So I've been getting a lot of success basically taking that YouTube video, even though it was going against what Julius Dean told me in regards to how he got like 10 million views viral and stuff. He said, every clip has got to be 2 minutes. But I just been literally uploading my YouTube video 5-minute animation onto Facebook. And I've been getting these other fans actually looking at these videos, and they shared it. And I got one of the Facebook videos. It got millions of views on Facebook. And it's the first time I actually started to go viral on Facebook. And I've never had that before. So I'm actually starting to utilize this strategy. And I realize it's working really well within this industry right now.
So you're putting the video on YouTube and you're marketing on your list. You're promoting it on your list. But then you're taking the same video and you're putting it on Facebook, native on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. So then you have two different audiences, and that can literally go viral in two different parts. Can go viral on YouTube, can go viral on Facebook. And the result is Happy Tim.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's been working really great. And I've been getting these big fan pages sharing the content. And I think that is, what Julius mentioned to me. He said, you got to create these relations with these million followers on Facebook, and they got to share it to their list, and that's what's been happening. So it seems to be working, this animation stuff. So yeah,
that's brilliant. And now we talked about the marketing. So how do we market and how do we put it out there? Then let's move on into how do we make money with YouTube? Because it's all good and great to create videos to get millions of views, but I'm sure that people that get millions of views and they make or zero or close to zero, or they might just monetize the ads. And I know that, monetizing ads is great, but it's not. You can do much more with millions of views, right? So tell me more about the monetization strategies.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. There are people, for example, with million followers probably making less than, what our company makes, because it's about monetization. So one of the ways, I suppose, I do have AdSense turned on, meaning I do get paid for ad revenue, but it's pretty bad. For example, if I get a million views or 2 million views, it's around 3,000 to 4,000, okay, max, I would say, dollars. Yeah. So, because that is relying on that amount of views, that is not worth it.
And
as
it's
a
not
marketer
sustainable
yourself,
because
it's not sustainable.
You don't have every video that gets 1 million or 2 million views. So
yeah,
and also by the time you get to that point, it takes time. So I cannot rely from day one just on ads.
No. So basically, I push them. For example, I use Audible is really solid for my audience, and I suppose it would be for your audience as well, because people love books in this industry. So I say sign up for a free book. It's no brainer offer, and so I make money from Audible as well as Amazon affiliates. So I do make sure, by the way, I use Genius Link for Amazon affiliates, because one of the things with Amazon, if you sign up for US and the things with YouTube is a global audience, if somebody's tuning in from India, you're not going to be paid affiliates commission for that. So I use Genius Link, because what Genius Link does is it sends them to different Amazon country accounts.
Interesting.
So it's very powerful for me to utilize that tool. And then the biggest, I suppose, revenue is when I just start doing one-to-one closing. I send them to my website, and then it offers a free 30-minute coaching session with one of the verified Success Insider coaches. And they offer them coaching session following my coaching script. And at the end, they offer them an upsell for, I don't know, $1,000 product, or even if they want personal coaching, we'll do a higher ticket upsell.
Yeah.
But I suppose the big payload is when we do webinars, because webinars is one-to-many selling. And so, we can fill a webinar easy, 500 people, sell, 1K product to like 30 people. So that's like $30,000. And then we'll do an upsell after 6 weeks. And then just boom, it just brings in the money. And then amongst that, we also do high ticket sales as well. And so it's much better to funnel them in some sort using this free platform. I don't see many people doing that. And it's a shame, because there's so much money sitting there.
Absolutely. And in fact, I don't do... my YouTube is not something that I put a lot of effort in so far, but it's something that I'm going to start looking at in the next few months. And I got few inquiries, but even if I got, I got 400 subscribers in my YouTube, so it's really rubbish. But I got every day someone that opts in on my mailing list from the different parts, or they joins my Facebook group because they find me on YouTube, and I just got the link. Hey, do you want this free program? And I mentioned that on the video. Put the links below. Just click the link below. And is that what you do as well, to funnel them into your mailing list? Do you offer them something for free that they can download? Then I give you their email address, or do you do something different?
So if you go onto one of my videos, you'll always notice there's always 5 cards. I suppose they may have not counted how many cards, but those cards is actually a template that I put on every single video. And so what I mean by a card is, have you ever watched a video and a card pops up that says, click here?
Yes.
So I put 5 on every single video, and it will offer, for example, when they're watching towards the end, it will say, oh, do you want free coaching? Click here. And so it's like a no-brainer. And then second thing would be discover about me. So basically, if they're listening to me first minute, back of their mind, they're probably thinking, oh, who is this guy? So I say, want to find out more about Tim? Click here. And what I'm doing here, basically, my website converts at 25% in regards to opt-in, because I've got exit intent software, and it converts very well, because when you try to escape my website, it says, do you want to achieve more in life?
Yeah.
And then it says, yes, I want to achieve more. It says, no, I'd rather live a mediocre life. So everybody just clicks yes. And then they just all opt in for my free ebook. And so I know as soon as I get them to my website, I'm going to convert 1 in 4, right?
It's really interesting, that strategy. And I love that. And I got to put that on my website too, because I mean, I go on other people's website and I'm learning something. Then this things pops up. Then, do you want to have 1 million followers or do you want to die alone? And I feel bad. I know what they are doing because I know what they're doing, but I just feel bad inside to click that no button. I click it anyway, but I feel bad, and I know what they're doing. So imagine people that don't know what you're doing. They're just gonna click yes. So it works.
So yeah, I've got loaded cards that always sends them to my website. That's what I'm always aiming for, because I know as soon as I get their email, that is going to funnel them down eventually, anyways. So yeah, that's what I do. I always do try to send them out. Do I do direct CTAs and videos? Not often, because I found if I'm aiming for viral videos and it's got CTAs, I can't really share that video on Facebook, for example. So I don't really say
that makes sense. So you leave the CTAs to the cards that are popping up at different times about you and about the different coaching or the PDF that I can download, but the video remains clean. So then you can repurpose it on different platforms.
Yeah,
I like that. That's something. I've learned a lot of new things today. Thank you very much. I mean, I love this podcast because it's a very selfish project. Every person I interview, my business grows. And I get free coaching, so it's pretty cool. I recommend everyone to run a podcast. Even if you get 2 listeners, you get to connect with so many amazing people. All right. Tim,
it's so true, actually. So true. I found that as well, because I interview guests and I found you just learn so much.
Absolutely.
I think one of the things I would just say is you got to remember this. This is what's always back on my mind. So amateurs, when they begin on YouTube, they spend 80% of the time producing the content and 20% on distribution.
Right.
Now, you got to flip that. 80% on distribution, 20% on production. So how can you maximize from that one, video you've spent time creating? That's what's always going back through my mind. So
it's less about posting a video every day or producing, taking 15 hours to produce a piece of video, but is using that time to actually say, put this video in front of as many people as possible. So get it to maybe affiliates that they can share, or partners that they can share the video for you. You share their videos and so on. Or like you did on Facebook, find some influencers where you can partner up and they are sharing your stuff. And I think that's very valuable, because there is no point. And this is something, a big mistakes that I've made. You learn the content is king, right? And what you end up, you spend all your time producing freaking content. So I got more than 1,000 articles that I wrote on my website. Now, the reality is, yes, I got good hits on my website now, but I was really stupid because I never published for other people, for example. And it literally came down to me this year. And I was like, why am I just creating content for myself? Why am I being so stupid right now? It was, a aha moment. And as soon as I started producing content, and less content, but more for other people, and taking care of more of the distribution, then my hits went up. And I was like, man, if I did it 3 years ago, I would be in a very different position right now.
Yeah.
But as we say, we live and learn, right?
Definitely.
I'm not going to do this mistake again. Now, Tim, I know there's something that makes you unique, which is you are a kind of person who is an action taker. You learn something, you take action. And a lot of listeners here, you listen to an episode, you listen to the great Simone and the great team, and you get pumped, you get motivated, but you do nothing with that. And therefore, in this case, your YouTube channel remains exactly the same or non-existent. So I know, Tim, you have something for people that are now ready to take action in the content they have learned today. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, so I've wrote a short guide or book, whatever you like to call it, as an ebook that's basically called 7 Secrets to Taking Action Without Losing the Focus and without even having motivation. How do you really maintain the momentum? And so basically, I would love to share it with your listeners if that's fine.
Absolutely. So tell us more.
Okay, so it's a free book. You can claim it online. So all you have to do is www.successinsider.tv-freebook. Let me just repeat that. Go to www.successinsider.tv-freebook. All you have to do is enter your name and email, and I'm going to send it directly to your inbox so you can download it and you can go through it. It's a very quick book. In fact, when you open the book, I show exactly how long it's going to take, because the last thing you want, if you're learning about action taking, is to spend time learning about action taking, right? So it's like a 5-minute book. Go have a read. If it helps, absolutely amazing. So yeah.
And so we are going to put can you repeat the link once again so then the listeners can get in their brain?
Sure. So it's www.successinsider.tv-freebook.
Awesome. And make sure we are going to put the link in the show notes. So if you are watching to this video, this interview on YouTube, then there is going to be the link on YouTube. If you are listening right now on our show, on our Explode Your Coaching Biz show, whether you are on our website, podcast, iTunes, or Stitcher, then the link is going to be in the website and the show notes as well. With all Tim links with his Facebook, Twitter, so his YouTube account, so that you can connect with him, you can learn from the master, you can see how he does things, and make sure you connect with him and get coached by him, because definitely knows his stuff based on results. And I know a lot of other big industry players that are working with him on their YouTube accounts, and that's why I wanted to have him here on our show. Now, before we leave, I've got just one question from people, because I know we rescheduled this interview, right, from last time, and I put a post on Facebook asking what question people had last time. So I just want to read one question, which I think was really interesting, from Louise Danielle. And she's asking, what are the hottest topics to talk about right now on YouTube in order to build an audience in the coaching industry?
Great question. So the hottest topics that I've got like a list of them, actually. I've actually just fished them. One of my strategies is just to model success. So like I said, I visited buzzsumo.com and I fished the most shared content. And it sounds cheesy, but the most hot topics for coaches is like, it's those cliche like topics that we just think, oh, do we really have to post about this? I was sharing these topics with a big coach that I knew the other day, and they're like, it's so similar. So for example, one of my viral videos is 3 signs you will become rich one day. Very cheesy title, but it went viral on the blog platform. So it made sense to actually take it to the video platform. Absolutely. And it worked. Another popular topic I took was 7 things to give up if you want to be successful. That got 3 million shares on blog platform. I took it to the video platform. Now it's got me almost 3 million views, something like that, or 2 million views. I can't remember. Views, not shares. So it's not quite the same level, but it's still got a lot of views.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's also actually ended up going viral on the Facebook platform as well, which is very interesting. How, they say success leaves clues. It's funny how it's going viral on each platform. So that is for you to, I suppose, your audience to find out from using BuzzSumo. But typically, it's those cliche topics. And this is why, for example, that guy in Lamborghini always talks about these cliche topics. It tends to go viral.
Because it works. Yeah, it definitely built a really small empire on YouTube, on Instagram, and it just gives to people what his audience wants. And if that's what your audience wants, give it to them. And as you said at the beginning, it's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah.
All right, guys, make sure that, again, you click on the link that you can find below, get Tim's book and get in touch with him and stalk him online so you can see how he does and likes and share his videos, because I'm sure he will appreciate it. Tim, it's been a pleasure to have you on our show. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to talk to you soon as well. I'm sure we will cross paths in London or wherever you are in the world right now.
Definitely. No, pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
That's great. And guys, thank you very much for listening. If you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button. And if you are listening to this episode on iTunes or Stitcher, make sure that you subscribe to our podcast so that you don't miss other juicy interviews like this one with Tim, where you can literally explode your coaching and speaking business. I'm looking forward to see you next time. And always remember, live with purpose. Ciao!